Sometimes Muliani comes home once a month to get supplies. If she comes home once and the supplies are enough, Muliani can be calm and doesn't have to go home once a month. Sometimes anyone can do the work of getting supplies. If A happens to come home, then A is the one who gets the supplies. If B happens to come home, then B takes the time to get the supplies. If that doesn't happen, then Muliani is the one who is in charge of getting the supplies. But coincidence and randomness are very rare. Very rare because the juniors often choose not to go home for 1 or 2 semesters. Not only because it saves the cost of traveling home, but also they really appreciate their luck in having the opportunity to enjoy the continuation of their education, making them like to spend time in their own campus library or other university libraries or enjoy working during the holidays. All of that happened with Muliani's support. Muliani, who really likes her juniors to visit the library, will provide support for public transportation costs and pocket money. Muliani's support in finding a job to fill the holidays is also very much liked by juniors. When taking supplies, parents who entrust their daughters to fulfill their determination to study at a big university will entrust various basic necessities. Some entrust 5 kilos of rice, some 20 kilos. Some also entrust 1 kilo. Some entrust cooking oil. What is certain is that salted fish is never left behind. The problem is, if we eat salted fish too often, it means we also have to drink a lot of water. In the end, we also need more money to buy water. In the past, at home, eating salted fish every day was like being at home. Everything was left. Just drink, just boil, just provide, or just help with the availability. Here, just like other things that must be facilitated by yourself, water also boils itself. Not because you are bankrupt. If you always have to buy water, especially it is more guaranteed not to add ingredients that eliminate the main function of water as a cleaner. After being heated, it is precipitated. Nothing is perfect. All are only intended to maintain its benefits. Yes, buy it if you are in a pinch. Half to gallons. The person responsible for the availability of weekly water is also scheduled. Muliani approached the paper taped to the wall. Tomorrow Aegis is scheduled to be in the kitchen. Yes, making a cooking picket schedule definitely has its own reasons. Of course, this is a compromise for predetermined goals, while capabilities are very limited. This is the best compromise. The best because everything is in harmony, in line with the desire to get a better education. That means struggle. And better education is also a struggle. In order to get the opportunity to continue obtain through struggle, learning becomes more valuable. Because they appreciate their own struggle, they struggle more to enjoy learning by really learning. Education becomes truly filled with learning. Without struggle, the learning period can become a time of not learning, just playing around, having fun, feeling the humidity of the night air penetrate her bones. Muliani took a deep breath. The air that pierced her bones made Muliani's eyes want to dim even more. However, Muliani continued checking. 1 gas cylinder had run out. There was still some stock of spices. If you have time, you can make more. Make more before the stock runs out. Next, Muliani checked the general needs money box. Still enough to buy gas. Finished with her mission, Muliani turned off the lights quietly. The increasingly cool night breeze from being adjacent to the river could easily lull anyone who was tired to sleep. Moreover, lately the weather felt colder. Colder, very cold. Aegis' room must be quiet at this hour. The next room should also be dark. Why is the small lamp still on? It's rare that Rainy and Ida still haven't slept. Usually like that, Muliani thought. But there are always moments out of the ordinary. That's life with its dynamics. There are the usual. There are the unusual. Unfortunately, Muliani couldn't stop thinking about it and couldn't stop making it just a thought. Muliani was surprised to find out what was happening in the room of her 2 junior girls. Muliani tried to peek through the window and the simple curtain that was closed tightly with ease. Why was there a sound? It felt like there was a sound. It felt like something was strange. The calm Muliani suddenly turned into a Muliani full of suspicion. Muliani's feelings changed very quickly. Muliani's prejudice awakened extraordinary strength in her tired body. The power of the bad prejudice finally made Muliani slam her body very fiercely against the old door of Rainy and Ida's room. After 3 slams, Muliani managed to open the door. As soon as the door opened, Muliani's eyes widened. Muliani's calm face instantly turned into a monster ready to kill. No wonder there was one less frying pan in the kitchen. It turned out that Rainy Ida was making fried rice. Without thinking, Muliani immediately hit the face and head of whoever she met in Rainy and Ida's room incredibly hard. Muliani, who was furious, immediately took the time to cover Ida's naked body as best she could before hitting the body that was immediately paralyzed by the kitchen frying pan with Muliani's full strength. Muliani knew that what was happening was reality, not a movie like what Muliani had heard from the people she met. Being hit like Muliani had done could have fatal consequences. Muliani did not care about her consciousness that had been silenced by her ferocity. Muliani continued to beat. Freshness attacked Muliani. Fresh blood flowed very strongly in Muliani every time she launched punch after punch. The flow of fresh blood had an energy called "I kill you, thief." The freshness wrapped Muliani's calm face into a face with a body of thick darkness. The density clearly gave Muliani a very different physical appearance. No wonder Muliani didn't want her motorbike stolen, because the change made her calm mother so angry at her father, who liked to take Muliani with him to catch squirrels. In Muliani's furious dance, Muliani could still feel the presence of people outside the room. "Don't enter." Muliani snapped as she continued to beat the body that was already helpless and even unconscious, beating with more force than the rampage of a wild boar as shown on a television fauna show that Muliani had never watched, only heard from the child of one of her clients. A rampage with the scent of wanting to kill. Saiful, Agus, and the other juniors were very shocked to see their seniors beating a body that had lost consciousness and was covered in blood and unable to stand up. The juniors knew Muliani as a figure who was always calm, always showing calmness to others, for others, always building calmness for Muliani herself. In any situation, of all the situations they had ever found before, the situation like what was happening now. Now they witnessed that calmness turning into an aura of darkness with the stench of blood, the stench of life, witnessing Muliani like that. In the extreme shock of the juniors, they were finally able to understand their own feelings when they first met Muliani. From the beginning of their meeting and in subsequent meetings, they could feel the strength of Muliani's courage. But that courage was disguised by Muliani's extraordinary calmness, friendliness, caring, and gentleness. Finally tonight, Muliani's juniors were able to understand the strong energy they felt at the beginning of their meeting and subsequent meetings with Muliani. Of course, it was not a common sight to see someone wanting to kill another person. The juniors and Saiful were very worried to witness Muliani with a murderous scent that they had never seen from their senior, who was very friendly, helpful, totally helping them, caring and taking good care of them. The juniors and Saiful were afraid that the body that was being beaten was no longer lifeless.